Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fourth Quarter Live. Felger and Jermaine Wiggins here at Patriots just starting the fourth quarter on defense. Lions driving and the Patriots trailing 20-10. Wiggy, opening thoughts here before they get going again.
The defense sucks. That's my opening thoughts. I mean, can you stop anybody running the football? This kid Johnson, the rookie from Auburn, I mean, seriously? It's like 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. And then when the Pats run, 1 yard.
Oh, LeGarrette Blount. Do you see the size of that? When fuck ball LeGarrette Blount, when that load is gashing you, then you know you have trouble. I'm sorry. They're just getting dominated up front. Total domination up front.
It's amazing to me if you look at the front when they show that, like, from the quarterback, the end zone camera. Look at this. Look at the giant holes that they're leaving. No spacing. The D line is atrocious, especially the inside guys. Absolutely atrocious on how they play tonight.
So what is it? Is it, again, their alignment? Is it their engagement, aggressive level? Do they just stink?
No, it's their personnel. Detroit's personnel up front is whooping up on the Pats' personnel up front. That's all it is. It's that simple.
You worry more about the linebackers or the defensive line?
I worry more about the defensive line because if you can't create some type of stalemate on up front and you can't create that like kind of traffic jam, it doesn't matter what kind of linebackers you have because the offensive linemen are easy. They're able to climb and get on them. So by the time the linebackers can react, there's a lineman sitting in his lap. You got to make it difficult for the offensive line to be able to get to your linebackers. It's just been gashed.
Okay, so they just failed that screen pass. Now you got 3rd and 15. They're in deep field goal range. You have got to hold them here or else forget about it. I don't want to say forget about it, but that's a bad sign. 3rd and 15, Wiggy. And we got, Williams says zero talent. I don't think they have zero talent. There's some talent up there. Now, they shouldn't be getting gashed like they're getting gashed. I mean, they're not that talent depleted up front. The linebackers, yes. The linebackers, I don't know how much talent you got there. Up front, though, they should have some guys. 3rd and 15. What do you got here?
I mean, 3rd and 15, you got to figure that they may take they're in field goal range. So
no blitz. The Pats have been blitzing.
Right, but I don't think you blitz here. I think you got to hope for maybe an interception or something, gamble on it.
Okay, no blitz. Are you sure you're live, Wiggy? You feel like you're a second or two behind me? More than usual. I know you're always a step or two behind me.
No,
but again, it seems like you're even more than that.
I think I'm a step or two behind you a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, press live on your TV. Make sure you're live.
I think I'm a step or two behind you.
But Prater's lining up here for a field goal, so that's what you should be seeing.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm at the studio, so I think I'm a step or two behind you on this television here. That's what it looks like. I mean, now you get off you hold them to 3 at least. 13.
Okay, Wiggy, give me more on the defense. Give me more on these linebackers. You know who scares the absolute shit out of me and who I'm most scared of? And that's Hightower. It feels like he can't run anymore.
Yeah, he don't look the same. There was a play early in the game. He was on the right side outside, and they ran like an off tackle, and he kind of went inside and then tried to chase the guy. The explosion's not there. His awareness is not there. He just doesn't look he don't look the same. I don't know if something's wrong with this dude or what. He just don't look the same.
Not even close. Not even close. And the rest of them, I mean, the Bentley kid I like as a rookie, as a guy who can develop. But if Hightower's not there, the talent is just not there at that position, Wiggy.
Right, but this is what I think, though, right? I understand what you're saying about that, but I think in this game here, to me, I think where they went wrong, defensively, obviously they haven't been doing it, but some of those 3rd down calls where they're force-feeding Sony Michel running the football.
Okay. Talk to me offensively now. What are they doing? You know what they're doing with Michel. They're trying to get him going. They sent a 1st-round pick on him. He didn't have training camp, so this is their extended training camp. I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, but I think you have to figure out you can't get him going on 3rd down. All right, you want to get him going 1st down, I don't mind that. But when it's 3rd and short, you give it to him, and then you give it right 2nd and down, and you give it to him, then you give it to him back on 3rd down. In the first half, they had 3 possessions, all 3 and out, right? 2 of the 3 possessions that they had were runs on 3rd down. Just let Brady throw the football. Now, I think a little bit of that is because you don't have Julian Edelman, and so maybe some of those 3rd and 1s, you say, hey, here's where Brady could pass to Edelman and he could work those option routes. But the force feeding of Sony Michel, even when he's coming out of the backfield, he just doesn't get it yet. He doesn't get the passing game yet because he's stopping or slowing down every time he comes out of the backfield, and Brady's trying to lead him. And he had 2 plays a couple possessions ago where first time he comes out, misses it, next time he drops it.
Wiggy, what do you think of Sony Michel? I mean, not just the fact that they're trying to feed him and get him going, but – and again, it's not that he's had a ton of opportunities in space or anything, but do you see the explosion there with that guy? I don't just my little viewing of him right now, I look at him and go, sort of just another guy. Like I don't see the explosiveness I would expect from a first-round pick coming out of college.
I think that he is just not ready. There are some players that are ready, and he's just not ready. Obviously, he's coming off this injury. Like you said, maybe this is like an extended preseason for him. But you can't waste games trying to get him up to speed. That's what practice is for. And for me, I just feel like you could see he's hesitant the way he's running the football. And he's just not ready. And you got a guy like James White. I don't know why you're, sitting James White for Sony Michel.
Because they spent a first-round pick on Michel. They got to justify the draft pick. That's why.
It doesn't matter, though. The draft pick, okay, he's somebody that you don't have to use all the time. He's a player. If it's a first-round draft pick, you can use him in spots here and there. But to me, you look at him, he's like your featured back. He's the guy that you're leaning on. I don't think you have to lean on him. I think you could still incorporate him into the offense slowly. And that's the issue that I have with what's going on with him, is that I think he's just not ready, so you have to pull it back a little bit.
Okay, Jeff says thinks it was a big mistake getting rid of Blunt. Would you please stop with the Garrett Blunt thing? If he's that valuable, why was he giving up on 2 straight Super Bowl teams? Would you please give me a break?
I'm not buying
it. I'm Gwiggy, on this drive, if it's not Gronkowski, who is it? If it's not Gronkowski and it's not White, who is it? and now he's chucking it to what? Intentional grounding. That felt like the Super Bowl right there against the Giants. When he starts doing that's what I hate. When he just starts chucking it down the field like that, that's a bad sign. It's like, I don't want to say giving up, but, something.
You could tell he's frustrated. You could tell. I don't know who the hell he was throwing that one to, but clearly he's thinking in his mind, somebody's supposed to be doing something that they're not doing.
If he's frustrated, what do you think he's most frustrated by?
I think he's most frustrated.
Oh, they're talking about grounding. I called that. That was the Giants Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
except he wasn't frustrated there.
I don't even think it matters because I seen in a play similar to that. Even if you throw it way over the receiver's head and he's there, that's intentional ground. And I saw that maybe
exactly the other day. Me too.
But I think what Brady's frustration is that teams are starting to double Gronk, and you don't have Julian there, so you don't have a guy that can maybe win those one-on-one crossing routes. And Hogan is kind of who he is. And you don't maybe have a guy that can make a play when you need it. I think that's the thing that he's frustrated about the most. Is like, say what you want about Amendola. He was the type of player that Brady felt like, all right, if I needed to force something in there too, he could make a play for me. And I don't think Brady feels like he has that in anybody besides Gronkowski and James White.
And he doesn't. He doesn't. I'll tell you. That throw to White, though, for the touchdown was a freaking great play by Brady.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he only feels comfortable with 2 guys. I know.
Oh, look at that. He actually ran a route. He actually threw it to Cordell Patterson.
Wow. I gotta be 4 or 5 seconds behind you.
Press live on your TV. Change the channel. Do something. I'm going to spoil it for you.
I don't know how to do that in here.
Or anyone watching. Is anyone watching on your cable system? I'm going to spoil it for you.
No, nobody's watching. I don't know how to do this. I'm at the studio. I'm at Nesson.
I'm talking about our vast audience out there across the Fan Cred Network, Wiggy. The hundreds of thousands of people who are tuning in right now.
Right.
They may be behind me as well. If I ruin it for you, I'm sorry.
You can
press live on your TV to catch up.
Yeah, I'm late to the party. I don't know. This thing doesn't have a live button on.
There's just no one open. Oh, my God. He had – how much time did he have to throw on that third down, and there was nowhere to go?
Right. And see, this is where an Amendola would make a play.
I mean, huge time right there. I totally agree on the Amendola. That's where they cheaped out. Amendola didn't get that much money in Miami. He got $6 million guaranteed. He got 2 years, $12 million, so that's $6 a year, but only 6 of it was guaranteed over the 2 years. They could have matched that for Brady. I mean, that's an important guy.
It's oh God. It's just it's so aggravating to watch. And I don't. I'm holding on.
Can I just say when I'm stunned the Lions went back ahead when the Patriots, intercept in that first drive of the third quarter. They go down, they score on that great ball from Brady to White. And then Dedrick Wise gets that sack on the first down. It's 2nd and 17. Like, okay, here we go. So I am stunned that from that point to now, that it's 23-10. Stunned. Yeah, I thought Detroit was done at that point.
They gave up that stupid out route where the underneath.
That was a good ball to 19. That was a good ball.
Yeah, but the underneath coverage was too shallow. He's got to drop deeper than that, so that throw can't make it over the top of his head.
Nick says in the comments, good thing Brady's taking pay cuts for guys like Dwayne Allen. I agree 100%, Nick. If Brady's going to give the money back, give it to one of his guys. Bring back one of his guys like Danny Amendola, Dwayne freaking Allen, Wiggy. You ever make $3.5 million a year ever in your career and you could catch?
No.
Dwayne Allen makes $3.5 million and he just blocks, and I never noticed the guy. Like, is he playing? Like, I never noticed him out there.
He's been getting pretty beat up tonight on a lot of the point of attack blocks, just getting tossed around. It is frustrating as far as what's going on here. I'm almost, I'm at the point right now.
Where are you at?
When Julian comes back, but I'm at the point right now. Like, I can't wait to see what Josh Gordon can do. Just from watching.
Here, let me reenact what he can do.
And listen, until he tests positive for another test and he screws up, I'm not going to say anything yet. I know the dude has got a lot of things going on, but right now, you're telling me right now that you wouldn't like to see him out there just to see?
Well, I'm a no on Gordon because I don't think he's going to work, but I'll take anything, of course, if it helps him and it works. Great. I mean, it just shows you how desperate that they are, Wiggy, that they brought in a guy like that.
But think about it. I don't care about his past, and I don't care about that. If the guy screws up, listen, you know what? You didn't spend much for the guy, right? I don't care about that. But if you got Hogan, who's been invisible, Dorsett, who's been invisible, Cordell Patterson, who's been invisible, at least I have a guy that has the potential and the skill set that could be a big-time whatever, catch a slant and go 50 yards. He could be that player. Now, I don't know if he still is that player, but from watching what I see out there now, I would much rather have seen Josh Gordon if he's ready to go. Obviously, if he's ready to go, and Brady just say, hey, listen, I'm going to take a few shots. We're running a go route with you. We're running a slant route with you, and that's it.
So the fact that they're not even doing that tells you he's not close. I know if you heard Brady's press conference on Friday, but Brady was very subdued is the word, or just very unenthusiastic about Gordon so far. It doesn't feel like he's close. I mean, and I'm not even talking about the hamstring. I'm talking about just knowing the offense or being in shape or being in condition or whatever, because Brady made it sound like the guy was barely out there.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that stuff with Brady, and I'm like I said, I'm not really sure, but I think a lot of that stuff is like Brady trying to avoid, the repeated questions. Like if Brady just says, "Hey, he's just another guy out there," I think then it stops the follow-up questions of, "Oh, well, what about this? What about that?" I think he's answering it like, "Hey, listen, he's just like any other receiver we have out here. We'll see what he does and go from there." I think that's part of it. I don't
need a little more than that. He was asked about having his locker next to him and da-da-da. And Brady said something along the lines of, well, the coach puts him there. Those things happen. Like he wasn't even
I just need to see him on that. I need to see him on the field. That's all I need him to.
All right, Wiggy. Another big third down here. Can they get to the quick? Can they put a little pressure on Stafford here? Just a little.
Right. I don't, like I said, with Josh Gordon, I don't need Brady to give me high praise about the guy. I just need when the guy's out there and I see him, and then I'll be able to make my decision on what the relationship is, on how Brady's trying to get him the ball, not trying to get him the ball. What are they doing with him?
Now, let me see this 3rd and 6, Wiggy.
All right. You're a little bit ahead of me, so you could spoil it.
Okay. Where's Dedrick Wise? You know, he's one of the few guys that's making plays out there. He's not even on the field right now. And Stafford misses him crossing.
All right, good.
They get off the field, but where's Wise on that play? So, folks out there, you can join us by hitting the fan line in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Treat it like it's a talk radio show, except we see your face. So just call in your thoughts on the game. Andrew is going to join us now on the fan line. You'll get the idea. We do have a producer standing by, so if you get goofy in any way, shape, or form, they drop your ass immediately. But Andrew's going to join us now as soon as they pop him up, and he's going to fire off a question. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, I have 2 points I want to make. The first point is with Jacksonville losing, that win against New England last week means nothing now. But point 2, I'm not really enthused right now about Sony Michel. He doesn't seem to be, like you said earlier, just exploding like you want a running back to be. So
He's not ready. Sony Michel's not ready. Like I said, listen, I'm a Bulldog. That's why I went to school, watching him in college. I loved him in college. He's just not ready.
Andrew, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. The fact that the Jaguars lost today, scoring. Did they lose 9-6? Was the score of that ball game?
9-6. And I called that one too. I said that Tennessee would beat them.
But that makes you look worse, don't you understand? That makes you look worse. What'd you give? And again, the scores all blend together. I can't remember. Did you give up 31 to those shitbums last week?
Yeah, to Jacksonville. Yeah.
So Jacksonville plays you, and they're a 31-point team. They play somebody else, and they're a 6-point team. That's not a good thing.
I don't base it off of that, like, you know, how they played against you and I don't base it off of that. From watching tonight, what's frustrated me most is those third down play calls. That's been the biggest frustration of me from the offensive standpoint, because they were moving the ball a little bit when they got into at the end, especially at the end of the half when they ended up kicking the field.
I get it. They're feeding Michel. They're purposely trying to get him going at the expense of the offense.
But I think because that's going to be a reason why you lose this game. Because they're going to be, if you lose this game, a lot of people are going to go, Josh, in the first half when you had the 3 possessions of 3-and-out, you ran the ball on third down 2 of the 3 times, and the other one that Brady, he kind of pump fake and threw it up. He threw it up high to Dorsett. Yep. All right, at least Brady's throwing the ball. I'd rather have that and the run defense, because it's Matt Stafford. It's not like Matt Stafford has thrown for 300 yards. The run defense, I mean,
brutal.
Oh my God!
And that's grab another call. James is in California. Wiggy, by the way, folks out there, is joining us from the offices at Nesson, where he's going to go on TV after this with Matt Chatham. I'm sure Matt Chatham is going to have an excuse for everything. He's going to tell you that he's got to watch the film or, something.
You can ask him.
Okay, James, California. Go ahead, James.
Why is Sony Michel still on this team like right now? He's so useless. They're not doing anything with him. He's just awful.
James, thanks. Get off before I got to look at your shirt, your chest. That scares me. No, Nate, put on a shirt before you call us. Sony Michel, I just be worried to give it to Sony Michel here on first down, and he actually got something there on this run, Wiggy. You're behind me. He's going to get a 9-yard gain. But, man, they are intent on getting themselves Sony Michel going.
I don't mind him on first down, but I don't want you throwing the ball at him. Like, if you're going to do that on first down, okay, all right, now he's got his run, get James White in the game. That's what I want to see right now. I don't want to see him back in the game, because here comes Brady, play action, looks for Sony Michel in the flat, and now all of a sudden he can't figure it out. He's not ready for the passing game. If he's got to run the ball, that's one thing, because he knows exactly where he has to go.
Okay, well, 2 runs there for about 14 yards, so There you go.
But I don't get it. You're down by 13, and there's 8 minutes to go, and you're running. Listen, we got to throw the football here.
I don't know. They got time.
Yeah, they got 8 minutes. It's not that much time. They got 8 minutes. They got to move. They need to get explosive plays. They haven't been like they've been getting explosive plays all night.
Sony Michel show. Look, if no one's open, I think Bill's saying, fuck it. We're not going to have Brady dance around back there and throw it 60 yards down the field to no one. No one's open. If all we can do is run it, we'll run it. I mean, and I know time's running out, but they're just frustrated.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think you could be saying that at this point. 8 minutes to go in the game, you're down by 13. Hey, sometimes it's like, you know what, we might have to squeeze it into a window, or we might have to take a shot with Patterson or Philip Dorsett or double moves or something like that. Just running the ball for 8-9 yards isn't going to get you anything.
Oh, you tell me if that was a good ball or not.
Okay.
Oi. Did he have him? Did he have him and just lay it up there?
No, he's not that type of player. See, you got to understand, Felger, right? That, like, Brady's got to know his personnel, and I would think he would know better than anybody working with these guys. Like,
what if he let him? What if he so that was a bad ball. If he let him, it might have been there.
But even though if it is a bad ball, you got to high point this ball. He's a high point. Well, he's not like a high point ball. Sometimes that's a bad ball, but my receiver's got to somehow go up and jump up and become a defender or something.
Let's grab another call. Luke in Vermont is going to join us. This is my buddy Green Mountain Luke, a great Celtics fan, joins us on Felger and Maz all the time. He's going to join us on the fan line now. Brady just throws an interception on a play action. Detroit leading by 13 here with around 7 minutes left. Luke, what do you got, buddy?
Felger, this team sucks.
Sucks?
Yeah.
Don't you think you're overreacting, Luke?
No, they're really bad. Look at the talent they have around them. Seriously. Remember when James White was like the 8th best offensive player on the team? He's like the 3rd best player on the team now. This team's really bad, Felger. They really are. Detroit sucks.
You got a point. When you say, Luke, that's a good point. James White is a great complementary piece. When he's your second – he's the number 2 option. Luke is right. He's your second best option right now.
That's bad, Felger. I mean, and getting Edelman back, that's good. But you look around. You guys were talking about it earlier in the week. Like, all those guys that were there in 2014, they were some serious studs on that defense. And I don't even mean Revis, the younger guys. Butler, Logan Ryan, Jamie Collins, Chandler Jones, Hicks. And you let all those guys go, and you got nothing. How slow did Hightower look early in the game when that guy got –
Oh, brutal. Scary.
You know what it is, though?
It's not good.
I don't know.
Luke, thanks for calling in, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
I don't know if it's necessarily that those guys were studs. I mean, let's be honest. We're really now saying Logan Ryan
was a solid player.
Right. I think that's the difference. I think it's not that they were studs. It's just that the guys now that are on the team, they're not solid players. That's it. It's just they're playing their level of play is just like you start to think it's like guys like Eric Rowe and they have Jackson out there and what was the other guy? Grossum. I didn't even know where this dude came from.
Yeah.
You know,
no. There's a talent drain, but let me tell you, they were flat. They came out flat tonight, and so. You know, that stuff about getting pushed around up front on defense, I know they're lacking some talent. They're not lacking that much where they should have had their stuff pushed in like they had tonight, Wiggy. So there's a whole nother thing to consider with this team in terms of their aggressiveness tonight or their readiness to play this ball game. They were not ready to play. Let me read a few quotes here because Sean writes in after that Brady interception and says, and again, this is Sean writing in, Wiggy, this isn't me. Brady would have made that play if he was at the OTAs. Off-season matters. That's from Sean. Sean, good job. Tom says, Bill the GM killing the Pats. Agreed. Talent is down. There's no question about it. But that doesn't explain how flat this team was for much of the game.
Well, you get a great kickoff return by Patterson to start the game. Get the ball on the 40-yard line. You get a good return, and then you get in a position where. To me, with some of the early play calling, where I was frustrated. Like you get behind the sticks, because that third down early in the game on their first possession, it was like 3rd and 10. They ran a stupid play where they kind of try to throw it to, I forget who it was, on a swing pass. It might have been James White on first down. Then you threw it to Dorsett. He dropped it. And then you're in 3rd and 10, and you try to hit Dorsett on a dig route across the middle. Brady pumps it, throws it high. Right from there, you got great field position. You can't do nothing with it.
Yeah. I think the second down play you're talking about was a little out to Dorsett that he just flat out dropped.
Yeah, right. And then it puts you in 3rd and 10. And then when ends up third, whatever it was, 3rd and 11. Then what happens is you now punt the ball. They get the ball, and then they run, pass, dump down to LeGarrette Blount. I mean, they're checking the ball down, and the linebackers are dropping 10 yards, 15 yards deep on first.
Wiggy, just let me say this. Somebody just says the game is not over. It's 3rd and 6. You'll catch up to this.
Felger, this
Lions
is over.
Lions have a 3rd and 6. I'm not going to tell you what happened.
This game's over. This game is over.
It might be now.
OVA. Come on.
It might be now. OVAH.
Like seriously, a little angle route by the running back. You got to know you got to play inside coverage.
Wiggy, let me ask you, did you hear that pregame report that the Pats were going to trade Gronkowski to the Lions? They threatened to retire?
A little angle route. Who's 41?
That's Cyrus Jones. Welcome back, Cyrus Jones, to the New England Patriots. More on the talent train.
Listen, you are a cornerback covering a running back. That should be win every time for a cornerback. I thought they were going to go 3-1. Looks like we're headed to who they got next week. They got Miami, right? Isn't Miami 3-0?
Home Miami. Don't tell me you're going to be losing at home to Miami now. Don't tell me that's happening.
I can't see that happening. 2-2. We're at the 2-2 point. It's almost, this is what they do every year for the past.
Here's the thing, Wiggy. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. In past years, they were all sort of on the same page, or it was a functional relation, a functional situation down there. It's a little different now. You've got to admit that. And are they going to be as able to circle the wagons and stay together and do all those things? That's going to really be the question.
You know what I'm wondering? This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if these guys are buying in. It's right. Sometimes I feel like from watching it that they're not buying in. Especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's like those players, you got your McCourties, you got your Deron Harmons and these guys, your Gilmores. But I feel like those other players that are supposed to be like, you talked about the Logan Ryan, you talked about some of the other guys in the past. They were buying into the system. I almost feel like maybe some of these newer players or some of these other younger players are just not buying in.
And now you got Josh F. Gordon with a dip in, I think.
Hey, you know what? I'd rather
a bad guy. No kidding, obviously.
I'd rather Josh Gordon than Philip Dorsett, Patterson, and Chris Hogan right now. I'd rather see him out there and see what he could do. I can't. I'm praying to the heavens above that he's healthy for next week and that he can get out there.
Don't watch this third name. Oh, they threw a flag.
No pass rush. Unless they call Holden. Did they call Holden?
They did.
All right. But even think about this, right? Think about this. 2 games in a row, and are we back to what we have seen from this Patriots team? No pass rush.
Oh, no pass rush. That to me is the biggest thing.
No pass rush.
I care more about that than getting run on. They got absolutely bulldozed in the running game today. So I'm not saying it was great, but I care more about the pass rush.
Right. And it's no pass rush whatsoever.
Brutal. Nothing. So, and Wise I don't know why Wise comes on and off the field. To me, he was the most impactful guy tonight. He's the guy that got him going. He got all emotional there early in the third.
Even him, though, he only had one real pressure. I've seen the kid Rivers play a little bit tonight, but I mean, are you that bad without Trey Flowers? It's
All right, so you just allowed Detroit's first 100-yard rusher since like the turn of the century.
Right.
When was the last time they did it? What's that?
Reggie Bush was the last 100-yard rusher for Detroit. I forget. I think it was 2010, they said.
They said 2013.
2013.
5 fucking years. You got to be kidding me.
What a joke.
This is, you know.
But that's how they beat you. Because when you look at the rushing yards, it wasn't like giant plays like 20-yard runs. It was like just 4, 6, 8 picking up first downs. And that's how they were able to eat up the clock on offense just by running. And that's when, to me, that is when the guy in front of you is just better than you, because it's not about, it's not about scheme or anything like that. When that offensive lineman is just whooping your ass and you can't get off a block to make a tackle, that's when you have a guy who rushes the ball like that.
Wiggy, are you sure this is over? Are you sure this is over? The Lions are dancing around. Yeah. The Lions are dancing like they won. Brady has the ball. I'm just saying, these are the fucking Lions we're talking about.
4:36. They're down by 2 scores.
No timeouts.
Huh?
That's problematic. The no timeouts is no problematic.
Right.
I'm not saying it's over. These are the Lions we're talking about. That's all I'll say.
Doesn't matter. You're on the 15-yard line. This is over, because now you really got to force balls in there.
Yeah, I mean, they have to recover an onside kick.
Right.
Can the Lions catch an onside kick?
But he doesn't have a guy that he can. He doesn't have a guy that can take a shot that he can just. So they need a chunk. They need a 30, 40-yard play. Let me know if they can.
7 all the way down the field. Oh, you don't wait, boy. Oh.
I could see
Not fun to get him out of there.
See you later.
Here's what, if they lose, here's what makes this different than some of the past slow starts. The 2014 one, we're on to Cincinnati. You lost at Kansas City. Like, that's a good team and a hard place to play, right? Or you lose at Miami early in the season. That happens all the time. Even last week, I'll give you. Jacksonville's a good team, and they played a great game and all that. The Lions, are – oh, my God, how did that get through? The Lions are a fucking embarrassment.
The Lions lost to the Jets at home. They got demolished to the
Lions. And the Lions are a joke of a team that had given up on their coach.
Right. Incomplete.
Oh, I should have caught it.
Joke.
Bubble burst on that guy tonight. Go for it on 4th and 12. Does Matt Patricia run up the score on your ass?
Right.
Hector says so much for bargain basement Trent Brown. Ouch.
I mean, he's been good. I'm not going to get on him.
It's late in the game. I don't know about his conditioning. Oh, they're going to throw a flag? All right, there's your game.
I'm not going to get on him for that. He's been good. But you don't – listen, if that's Josh Gordon, who's 6'3", hey, maybe he can climb the ladder and go get it. That's not the type of player Philip Dorsett is. That's what I mean by having a guy that can climb the ladder. I don't know if he can do it, but at least I'd rather see him. They're triple teaming Gronkowski. Well,
I don't think he's going to have that option much anymore. I don't really – just watch. Dorsett didn't survive the play, so –
well, now that opens the door for Josh Gordon. If I'm Josh Gordon, I'm going, okay, next week's my time. Brady needs somebody to throw the ball to.
Let's even get in shape.
See, he's not a jump ball guy. You got to,
So, I mean, you're right. They should be throwing to Patterson in that situation at least.
Yeah, you got to throw to somebody that, okay, he's a guy that kind of comes underneath it. He's like, all right, I get by the defense. But sometimes you need guys that when you get in that situation, like you could throw the ball up in the air and it's a jump ball situation where you can climb the ladder. Maybe you get a pass interference that way. He's not that type of dude that can stop, fight through the guy and try to go get it, because if you can do that, you maybe get a PI that way.
Wiggy Raza in the comments says, was Hogan even playing tonight? You know, again, awful quiet for a team that's desperate for weapons. Where is that guy?
That's my point. Your three guys were Hogan, Dorsett, and Patterson, the three receivers that were active. And I think I'm like, did anybody catch a ball besides Patterson? I seen him catch a ball. I don't think I seen Dorsett catch a ball in the game.
Hogan and Dorsett each had like one or two.
But Hogan's not that guy. Hogan is your fourth option. He could have maybe replaced Amendola in the sense of, hey, he could be that late third down pickup guy.
Joshua says everybody can blame the receiving corps, but Brady doesn't look that great either. How do you think Brady looks, Wiggy?
Listen, when you got nobody to throw it to, I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers out there. If you don't have nobody to throw it to, you don't have, like I said, those are your receivers. Think about it. Josh Gordon, Dorsett, and Patterson. Those are your receivers. And so Gronk's getting double teamed. You can get it to James White. You hit Burkhead once or twice. And your receivers can't win. They showed a couple of the replays. The receivers were getting Velcro. Like, you got to have a receiver that can get open, or that even if he is getting Velcro, is big and strong enough that can pluck the ball out of the sky. I mean, yeah, Brady had some throws where he's off, where he's trying to force stuff. But I watched Cooks today. I'm like, where's that guy? Why can't we have him back?
Sean says, I guess the Brian Flores hype is over. It's the new non-defensive coordinator. I'll say this: early in the game, he was sending a lot of extra pressure, and it wasn't getting home. But whatever he's dialing up he wasn't getting guys free.
Well, you're gonna look at this game, and you're gonna say that you're gonna look at this game, and you're gonna go, boys, Detroit kicked Joe ass, especially up front. And when I say up front, I'm talking more on the defense. I would say both sides of the football, because they can't really run the football. You know, they're getting two yards a run, but defensively, they just, and like I said, they didn't gash you for like 250 yards. It was just like little pricks, like just like little cuts here, and they just kept doing that all game long. And that was between Johnson and Blunt. It was like every time they ran, I swear, like, I'd love to see what they averaged in the game. I'm willing to bet you rushing the ball, they probably averaged about 5 yards a carry. It's just, and think about this. That's always been the Patriots' like strong point. I mean, even though they have struggled with the pass rush, but you always felt like, hey, you could stop the run. And maybe if you stop the run and you force Stafford to throw maybe more, Detroit was too comfortable on offense. It's like they did what they wanted to do. I told you it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
I just can't. I mean.
All right, so what are you and Chatham going to talk about on Ness? And Chatham's going to give us I got to look at the film, and you guys don't really know what you're looking at. You got to look at the film before you can say that, that's what he's going to do. Is he going to come out and say, they sucked? Come on, Chatham. For once, tell it like it is. For once.
Listen, he's got to look at it and review it. I just felt like this game, it was just, to me, their defense, they were getting killed, one-on-one battles. It's frustrating. I truly think they need Edelman back, because on those 3rd and 1s, those 3rd and 2s, when they're running the football, maybe Josh says, hey, Julian, run your little option routes. They didn't get the ball to James White. I don't know why they're not feeding him the ball, especially in the passing game.
Oh, they fumbled. Because they want to get Michelle going. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know, but I understand that point, but really, like the Sony Michel experience, like, okay, you get a couple plays and then that's it. Get James White in the game. Listen, it's not working. Sony Michel is not ready when it comes to carrying a big load. He should be somebody who's just coming in to help out.
So here's my takeaway: is they hit the 2-minute warning, and that is the talent thing's obvious. So you can look across the field and say they're lacking talent here, they're lacking talent there. There's no question about it. Here's a bigger issue for the Patriots. They were flat. They didn't respond to a loss. I mean, how often does that happen, Wiggy? This team, for almost 2 decades, always responds to a loss. Always. And in this ballgame, they did not respond. In fact, they got worse. And that's rare. It is rare that this team goes from bad to worse. And so it's beyond the talent there. That's the thing you got to watch with this team. And you said, are guys buying in? Are they all on the same page? Do they have the ability to get on the same page? Like, that's my question. The talent's the talent. I've seen them win with, not great talent. It's almost never have I seen it go from bad to worse. I mean, again, 2 straight losses. They've only done that a handful of times in the last 20 years. Never mind a shitbag team like this. So that, to me, that's my issue. Let me grab one more fan here. Joe in Ashland is going to join us on the line before Wiggy and Chatham go out on TV and try and make it all right and make a million excuses for the Patriots. Fan cred will tell it like it is, Wiggy. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, what's up, Felger? Big fan.
Thanks.
Do you think this is like the worst loss they've ever had of one of their quote-unquote planned September losses? Like, this is Matt Patricia. He sucks.
Joe, I'll drop you an answer. Yeah, as I said before, you lose at Kansas City, that's a real hard place to play, and that's a good team. You lose at Miami, that happens all the time. We sort of get that. What was the other one? Now, they lost last year at home to Carolina. Super Bowl team, good team. It came down to the wire. Carolina kicked a field goal with 30 seconds left, and they won that ball game. So, we've had a lot of early season losses. We've seen it before. Have you ever had an early season loss to a team this horrible? Coming off a big loss the week before, that's different.
Pathetic, Felger. It's a bad one.
Okay, Wiggy. Look, they're down 16 points with 2 minutes left. If they come back, you got to jump back on this thing, okay?
Okay. There's no way that's happening, brother.
All right. Otherwise, folks, we'll catch you next week. Fourth quarter, Patriots, Miami. Hopefully they're not in the shitter like they are tonight. Talk to you next week.
Later.
See ya.